All right. I have a list of things that I want to go over, Mihoyo. All right. First off, let's just start here, okay? With this freaking... Let's start with the boss drops. Why? Why are boss drops the way that they are? It doesn't make sense to me. So let's look for weapon ascension material, okay? First off, let me just show you this example to kind of show you what I'm going to be getting at. So you have normally, in order to upgrade things, it requires just one unique item from a monster. So in this case, whoops. In this case, that's right. In this case, gosh dang it. In this case, it requires a domain and then it requires two monster drops, okay, in order to do it. So you need 2 monsters, 1 domain. Each one 3 elements to upgrade that. Now let's look at the ascension material that is required for your characters, okay? You have 1 unique monster drop, 1 specialty collection from Liyue or Mondstadt, and then you have 2 items that drop from 1 monster? Now let's think about this for a second. Let's just use the animal hypostasis as an example, since that is what we're on. In order to upgrade my character from Ascension level 5 to Ascension level 6, I need 6 gemstones, 20 hurricane seeds. Both of those drop from the same monster, and the drop rate for gemstones and the drop rate for chunks is extremely low. In all of the time I've been AR-50 and AR-45, both of those combined, which has got to be somewhere around 20 to 30 of these fights, I have gotten 2 chunks and 1 gemstone. And the gemstone, from what I can tell, was an extremely lucky drop. Now, that being said, normally what you get from these fights, you get typically, 2 or 3 slivers, you get 1 to 3 fragments, and then the very occasional chunk, and then the very rare gemstone. Now let's just say, for the sake of example, you have, every time you fight this animal hypostasis, Beth, every time you fight Beth, you get 2 to 3 hurricane seeds, and you will always get, and this is for the sake of example, you will always get 2 fragments and 3 slivers, which is, that in and of itself is actually more than the average drop that I have gotten. So let's just say you craft those 3 slivers into a chunk, or not into a chunk, those 3 slivers into a fragment, and those 3 fragments into 1 chunk. And in order to get these 20 hurricane seeds, you have to fight Beth at least 10, or a maximum of 10 times. So every time it drops, you are guaranteed, you aren't guaranteed, again, this is sake of example, you are able to craft into a chunk, and then each one of those chunks, you can craft those into gemstones after you get to the 20. But that means you fought the guy 10 times and you only have 10 chunks, and 3 chunks equal 1 gemstone, which means you need to fight the guy at least another 9 times, or 8 times, if I'm not mistaken, another 8 times, just to be able to get all of the gemstones that you need. And mind you, this is completely ignoring the potential for gemstone drops and chunk drops. That in the time that I actually did this with what's his face over here, Zhongli, Mr. Husbando. I actually placed a portable waypoint by Himmel, the Geo Hypostasis. I actually placed one by him, fought him until I got up to 44 of the basalt pillars, and then crafted all the material I gathered into the gemstones. Now, mind you, this is completely ignoring the other times that I had already fought in the guy, and the times that I had gotten random drops from the 2 domains, from Storm Terror, from Tartaglia, or from Andreas, the Wolf of the North challenge. That's completely ignoring any of those random drops. But it is including those into the total. So I don't know how many times I fought those to get all of that in. And all that I have left from that pursuit, I have 22 basalt pillars. So I guess I fought him until I got to 42, and then I have one chunk, which came after I already did this, and then 18 slivers left. So I used literally every single thing that I had. Wait, so let's think about this for a second. I had to fight the guy 20 times at least, to get the material to craft the 6 gemstones that I need. So, answer me this. What's the point of these basalt pillars that you see? Explain to me. If the required material to upgrade your character is exponentially more than the amount of material you need from this second drop, what's the point of the second drop? Now, granted, Ascension levels 1 through 5 have felt completely fair for all of the drops that I've gotten so far. So I didn't even notice this until I got to where I needed to ascend from level 5 to level 6. Basically, the pillars drops and the sliver fragment chunk drops have felt fair up until I needed to ascend to level 6. And then all of a sudden, there was literally no reason for this unique drop from the monster. There's no reason for it. Because I had to use all of my material, all of these slivers and things, to be able to upgrade my character, just to craft it, to be able to upgrade it. Which means that even if I wanted to use these to ascend lower level characters, it wouldn't matter because I still needed slivers or fragments or chunks to do that. And all of a sudden I had nothing. So Mihoyo, all I'm trying to get at here is really the balance at this point. The pace at which you do things doesn't make sense. When I have to spend 40 resin to fight a geohypostasis, and I have to fight him 20 times, which, mind you, that was 3 days worth of fighting the geohypostasis with doing nothing else. 3 days of it. No, I lied. That was 4 to 5 days of me doing that. I literally placed a portable waypoint and basically wanted to get my use out of it, so I just kept using all of my resin on that guy. But there's no point. Like, what's the point of having 2 separate materials drop from one character? The pace in this game needs a little bit of TLC. And really, I think, honestly, what would have fixed it is, if you remember, as you're going up and your world level's increasing, as you go from level 0 to level 1, all of a sudden you start getting, a couple more slivers and you're like, oh my gosh, this is great. And then you get from 1 to 2 and then occasional fragment will drop and you're like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, I remember struggling a little bit when I was getting the fragments, but then you get to level 3 through 5, world level 3 through 5, and then all of a sudden you're getting like a consistent number of drops to be able to ascend your characters from ascension level 2 to 3 and then 3 to 4, and then you get to world level 6 and you're like, dude, I have so much stuff to be able to ascend my characters. I can ascend my characters easily by fighting the guy as many times as I needed to get the special item drop to be able to ascend the character to that. And then once I got that, I had enough stuff to be able to craft in order to, ascend my character, which is great. And then you hit ascension level 6 and world level 7 happens. And I was hoping that what would happen, much like when you had the lower levels, when they started throwing in the fragments and you had a guaranteed fragment drop every time, or even not even guaranteed, you just had a high chance of a fragment drop. I was hoping that would happen when I got to AR-50, and it didn't. Like, the chunk drop rate has gone unchanged. Even if I was guaranteed one chunk every single time, in just one chunk every time I fought this guy, I would still have to fight him twice as many times as the required special item drop to be able to ascend him. And that's, mind you, this is without what the current rates are. The current rates you have, my average drop rate is maybe 2 fragments. Like 2 fragments, average drop rate, and 2 slivers. That's my average. That's not even enough material to craft 1 chunk. And even if I could guarantee craft 1 chunk, like we covered earlier, to get the basalt pillars, every time you fight them, they're guaranteed to drop at least 2 of their special item. And I'm having a consistent, 30% drop rate for 3. Which means that I only have to fight this guy 9 times in order to get what I need. But I still don't have the chunks or the gemstones that I need. So really, Mihoyo, please just upgrade this so we have the guaranteed drops. It's really hard for me, as somebody who loves the story and sees this, to see so many little things in this game just go to the wayside and just not even be acknowledged that well. Let's talk a little bit about these prototype drops. It's similar, not quite the same as what I was just talking about with all of this unique drops and things like that. But the prototype drops are required to be able to craft and forge weapons. However, you can only get them from the Wolf of the North, from Tartaglia, and from the Storm Terror Challenge. And let me tell you, at the highest level of AR-50, you're still not guaranteed a drop from the prototype weapons. Even though you're guaranteed two of the unique items for talent upgrade materials and 1 or 2 5-star artifacts, you're still not guaranteed the 4-star prototype. So it's something that's not even supposed to be that rare, that is incredibly rare to get. Can we just say, why is it that I am AR-50 doing these trounce domains over here, these trounce domains for Confront Storm Terror at the highest possible level, and I still am rarely getting prototype drops? Look at this. From Storm Terror 1 all the way to Storm Terror 6, prototype weapons are on there. And I have gotten a total of 6, and I've fought in them every week. And that's including Storm Terror, Wolf of the North, and Tartaglia. Fighting all 3 of them every week, I've gotten a total of 6 prototype drops. Can we increase that rate a little bit? Mihoyo, please? Why? Why does it need to be so hard to get these? These are things that help certain characters out, and I want these and put them on a couple characters, but I can't get them because their drop rates are incredibly low. They're lower than these 5-star character level up materials for the talents, and yet they're 4-star. Come on, Mihoyo, what the heck? Why do your star system mean absolutely nothing in terms of how hard things are to get? The chunks and the gemstones feel equally difficult to get to me. Gemstones a little bit harder, but the chunks are still incredibly difficult. Anyway, that little thing is done. Let's pull out my list of things to talk about. Oh yeah, one little thing, Mihoyo. I just want to mention this kind of on the side as we're moving on to things. Why is the resin cap not 180? For free-to-play players, you can only get 180 resin per day. And the cap is 160. And if the cap is 160, that means you have to log on twice a day to efficiently use your resin. Why? Why not just make it a day's worth? Say you have to log on once a day at least and use up all your resin to be able to effectively do. Why is it 160? Why do you want us to get on multiple times per day? I'm getting on already and playing for hours at a time. I've got several hundred hours into this game. Like, why? Why is it like that? And while we're on that topic, while we're kind of on this topic of drop rates and everything, I like to start games for one, the way they look, two, the story, and I am actually a person who really loves to grind. The problem with this game is that all of the grinding elements are locked behind resin. And so when I'm grinding in this game, it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything. So I basically hop onto this game because I still want to be able to use my resin effectively and to be able to do everything that I need to do, you know, upgrade my characters and everything. And then I get locked behind resin between all of my grinding, which I get it. Genshin Impact is a gacha game, and I totally understand. However, there's literally nothing to do in this game worthwhile. There's nothing to do worthwhile that doesn't require resin. Like, in everything that is worthwhile times out in like 5 fights. Like, I can go around and fight the Abyss Mages, but there's only like 15 or 20 of them that I can track, and I'm sure there's more in the world. There's probably like 30, but tracking down all 30 of them and fighting them only takes like, you know, an hour. But that's not the type of things that I do, because the materials that they drop don't justify me going and fighting them to grind them, because all that is useful for is character ascension material, and you only have a very limited number of characters who need specific items, or weapons that need specific items to upgrade them. But you know what the weapons need? They need materials that drop from domains that require resin to collect from. Like, I understand the resin system and having things locked behind it like that. However, there really needs to be a grinding aspect that allows us, like players like me, to be able to do what we want to do. So let's just say artifacts, for example. You have the main artifact, the main stat on the artifact, and then you can have 3 or 4 substats drop automatically from those artifacts. Okay? And I can't remember the specific stats, but let's just say in order to get the exact thing that you want, it is like a 1 in several thousand chance to do it. 1 in several thousand chance per artifact type that you want. The worst one being Goblet, which has the lowest chance to get exactly what you want because it has so many other main stats that are included, like physical damage or pyro damage bonus. So in the midst of this, those are locked behind resin as well. Like, this is the perfect opportunity, Mihoyo. Perfect opportunity. Take off the resin cap. Or not the resin cap. Just take off the resin requirement for these artifact dungeons, the artifact domains, so that we can go in and people like me can just go in and grind like we love to do. Just go and collect all these things that will make our characters stronger so we feel like we're doing something. Because it's still going to take, because you only get two drops if you do the condensed resin. You get 2 drops maximum. 5-star. I am really struggling here. You only get a maximum of 2 5-star artifact drops, which are what you want on your characters. And then in the chance of those being exactly what you want right off the bat in terms of main stat and substat is 1 in several thousand chance, which means we have to go in, and that's for 1 single artifact. Why? Why don't you just let us go in and gather as many artifacts as we want? Do this one domain 1,000 times with no resin requirement. We don't even get AR. Heck, we don't even get Mora. We just get the artifacts. People like me would absolutely love that, because then we feel like we're doing something worthwhile in this Genshin game. This game that so many of my friends and I love, but we also hate at the same time because there's nothing to do worthwhile every single day. So Mihoyo, it's my plea please give us something that's not these events. It's not these worthless event things or anything like that. Just allow us to play the game the way we like to play it, and you can still keep it a gacha game. You still have those banners that you have. Heck, you could even add custom wings and things like that that are purchasable, or you have the battle pass. We still have all of these things that we can spend money for. And many of us who spend money would, and especially on the battle pass and like the blessings of the moon. People like me love to spend money on those because it feels worthwhile. It wouldn't hurt at all to let you do that for us. Well, I had a couple more, but yeah, that was really the two things I wanted to get off my chest here. So that being said, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like the video, give it a like. If you dislike the video, go ahead and press that thumbs up button as well. The algorithm knows the difference between likes and if you didn't like the video and you press the like button, it still knows the difference there. So what we're going to anyways, just let me know if you like the video or you want to see more content I put out. I'm trying to put out like a video or so a week. Go ahead and press that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. I stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/BCRMainSound. And I would really appreciate if you guys help me get to my subscriber goal by, I think I put it at my birthday, April 15th. If by April 15th, we can get to the 300 subscriber goal here on YouTube, I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, so that's BCR Mainsound. Thank you very much, and see you next time.